scratching my arm on the internet. Now I'm scratching another part of my arm on the internet. This is the content you tune in to see. Hello. Remember to subscribe for more arm scratching. I was about to say armpit scratching, but we're not getting to that yet. That's a Patreon reward. Exclusive. Alright. Let us... Well, first things first. Let's see if the... Yep, it's happening. Yay! Twitch is twitching. Twitch is... twitching. Alright then. Do 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 do. Alright, the Platono website, we need that. Alright, and we need to go here, and somebody... Oh, let's go here first. Okay, we're working it out. Hello, Uralina1991. Yes, you made it to the Borderwise stream. Well done. Hello, Super Sumul. Welcome. Fox and shark. I'm not sure what that means. It's an emoji. Is chat on? Chat is on. Excellent. Hello, Limited Gravitas. I found the thing you put on the internet. Don't worry. It's something you deliberately shared. Right, Stonelight present. Neat. Okay, then. Alright, so Jormungand... Alright, so Shield Cat has done a thing. Not decoed yet. And I'll be working on 3 other stuff I need done. But okay. Right. Noted. Shield Cat, noted. You've done a thing, and I appreciate it. Okay then, so what is the plan for... Well, firstly, I gotta share the... I gotta share the hub. You can't do a Platono stream if you haven't shared the hub, alright? Hello, Ruby. Hello, Orange. I used to just have Fox be my first person, but now that I have Shark, I also want to use it. Okay, that makes sense. Hard-earned emojis must be used. And hello, Marcel. Hello. Border, how do I stop the Skinners from skinning me apart in medium difficulty I'm not sure I understood that... sentence. Huh. I'm not... What? The Skimmers from skinning me apart? Neater. By Skinners, do you mean, Skimmers, by any chance? Is it, Lightning Hood stuff you're having trouble with? Flares. Oh, the Skinners, right. I didn't put that together. You're gonna need a lot of, HP heavy armor. And you're gonna need to use shield projectors, I'm sorry to say. I keep forgetting to test stuff against the white flares. Their AP miniguns are really annoying. Watch the White Flares BW lore video. That's a good idea. Also, I need to pin that. Okay, then. Beautiful. Okay, so, the plan for the stream. Let's see here. We've got a new craft to look at. We've got an updated one, and then the difficulty shuffle proceeds. So, let us hop into content. We must be content with our content. Right, so we have this new fella, the Lidenfrost. And it has been all kinds of weird lately, so I'm not sure how long it can stay. That's okay, you stay as long as you can and feel like Orange. So that's why 2 tiny Soviet missile frigates were torn apart by a fleet 11 times their size. I mean, this probably doesn't help to be outnumbered. It is mainly lore, but also had some stuff on their actual builds. Yeah. Yeah. Let's go there. Leidenfrost. And Proton go there. Do you name everything Frost or a version of Frost? I don't. That was for one specific fleet. That was for the Pale Fleet, because there was kind of a theme I was running with there. It was a fun theme, but I'm over it now. The fleet I'm working on now is being named after metal bands. So currently we have the Ailstorm Gremlin and the Dragon Force, because those are metal bands. Is white your favorite color? No, it is not. My favorite color... What is my favorite color? My favorite color is black, but that's kind of not a real color, so it's like combinations of white, grey, black, green. I would say that kind of color palette is my favorite. Okay, what was I doing? I was going to the designer, because we need to look at the new thing. Ailstorm are really fun, Border Ice truly has good taste. Ailstorm is a bit of a guilty pleasure for me, because here's the hilarious thing, I don't drink, and Ailstorm has some bangers. They also have some really, really terrible songs, which I've listened to once and I've been like, ew, ew, why have you done this, lads? So yeah, I have not listened to much Dragon Force. I should. Apparently Dragon Force is like one of those metal bands that's like no one is sure exactly what they sing about. Okay. I would like to try for the Glacave tank or AFV. Okay. Tank or AFV. Alright, so did you want a spot on the spreadsheet reserved? I don't remember if they're all reserved yet or not. Alright, let's look at this new fella, because that's important. Alright, so the Lidenfrost, which is an anti-submarine thing. This is a lot bigger than I thought it would be. What is this? This appears to be a plane of some kind. Let's have a look-see here. Oh, this is a wacky fella. Gravitas, what slot are you actually going for here? By the way, a reminder to everyone, if you're submitting designs for this custom kit, why did I scratch my headphones rather than my head? Do say what slot you actually wanted to go in, because if I have to puzzle it out, it's like, I don't know. That's still really fun. Is it bad that the reason I finally got here was because of you reviewing the anime DLC years ago? I mean, no. In fact, that's hilarious. Good. Hey, that video accomplished something good. I wasn't really sure as I wanted to make something a bit weird. Okay, well, let's have a look at the spreadsheet and see where this can go. Alright, lots of anonymous people with the spreadsheet there. Okay then, let's go down to here. Right, so what have we got here? Alright, so they do... Okay, jet fighter bomber is full, attack helicopter is full. Gravitas, there might not be any slots open for this thing. In fact, there isn't. Bruh. Look at the spreadsheet before you do things. Like, where is this supposed to go? It literally can't go anywhere. With a skimming that can find something I would want to do for a while. Okay, well, spreadsheet. Hello, Azusa. I've right. Hello, McFist. Office work. Exactly. Would you like to restate about you commenting about their, physics? No, I believe I said everything that needed to be said there. What did Gravitas make? Gravitas made this really cool anti-submarine plane skimmer thing like that. Wait a minute. Kakave isn't allowed boats. This is really cool, but at the same time, the spreadsheet's full. There's no... Where's this gonna go? Spreadsheet jump scare. Bizarre little guy. Is it a bird? It can fly. It's a bird. It's a plane. I mean, we can keep this in the back. Why is one of the things... Wait a minute. Alright, let's have a look-see at this thing's guts. Right, what am I looking at here? I see tears of green, red roses too. Tears of green? Tears of the kingdom. Alright, if I... Yep, so it's got your... And your... Okay. Why is this fella being weird? Okay, it's because your... That's right. Alright, it's got pivots in it. Alright, it's got ducts. I mean, Glacava does need anti-submarine stuff, but, like, again, where's this supposed to go? Like, broken, needs to be reworked or replaced. Don't be afraid to continue. To be fair, they did say in the Discord they knew it probably wouldn't fit. To be fair, you need to have an idea of where a thing goes. Try to remember what you dislike most. Wait, what? No thrust vectoring? Nope, it doesn't appear to be thrust vectoring. I do have to... This might sound like heresy, but you don't need thrust vectoring all the time. Sometimes it's fine not to use it. If this thing can reverse it, it's a bit of an issue. Alright, so... Damn it, this thing's cool. It does in fact thrust... Okay, it does. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time someone has built something without a spot. It's basically a fan build. Hello and greetings. Once again, I managed to catch... Well, welcome, Sean. Alright, so... I think we can consider this basically a fan build, because again, like, where, how? I am loath to open up more slots. Hover tank, artillery AV, no, doesn't really fit. It would be a thruster craft of some kind. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Could it replace the Mortra? Or maybe not. I don't know. I don't know. Right, I am just going to sit on this, and people can discuss in the custom campaign Discord whether this should replace anything or something like that. I mean, you can open a blacked out slot, maybe. I don't want to do that, because I don't want to get inundated with people who look at all the black on here and go like, oh, that's basically open then. Oh no, this isn't even a Sawolo stream, and there's decisions to be made. Bordering the wise, why doesn't my stone ship float? Did I not put enough heavy armor and rubber on it? I think you know the answer to that question deep in your heart. Okay then. Right. I am going to spawn in some kind of submarine here, and we'll see how good this thing is at fighting submarines. How expensive is this? 300k. I'm going to throw you against the Triumph. As a treat. My heart is for the Steel Striders. Alright, let's see. What have you got here? Ah, this thing has no real missile defense. I mean, I do like that this is basically not just a box, which is a lot of Glakave craft are just like, you know, kind of a flying box. They do need an anti-submarine thing of some kind. Oh, wait. This thing moves at 136 meters per second. That probably would do the trick. I need to remove the anime needed mod. Reminds me of something from a video game just come up from that. This is a very video gamey design. I know what you mean. Good news, the Soil Republic is very... Steel Striders like, yeah, bad news. I think all those slots are full or spoken for. Yep. I think they're, like, yeah, I think almost all the... Hang on, let's have a look here. I mean, they need a laser emplacement, and that's, there's a spot open for a jet smart bomber, which I hope wasn't just a mistake on my part. And they've got a few broken... All their ship slots are full, at least. What the hell did I just do? We're quite late in the process of this campaign. Yep. I swear I've seen a thing like that before. Maybe Gundam or Transformers. I swear there's... This thing is quite anime. And I'm not sure how to describe it. Alright, so I'm going to stash this away in my folder. Just so I can... Alright, so here's a problem. The thing is holding... There we go. It's opening fire now. They do need more anti-submarine warfare, because currently they're kind of bad at that. Oh wait, this thing has a particle cannon as well, I didn't even realize. Oh, there's its particle cannon. Just glad I got into Fulero stream, yay! At least as far as filling ourselves with... I mean, if there's any faction who would anime craft, probably Glakave, yep. It's on a belt-fed gun, doing quite well at taking out the sub. Hack my beloved. I've really got to get the hang of particle cannons, really. I mean, the thing is mauling the Triumph, that's for sure. What shells are these? I'm going to guess it's Sabot. No, it's Hollow Point. Oh, right! Hollow point, the, whatchamacallit? They get, the thump gets the damage bonus underwater. Oh, I should have looked at the damage numbers, honestly. Huh, belt-fed hollow point. Wouldn't have thought that would be a thing. Alright. Whoops. Okay, that was my bad. Yep, that is a... What kind of shells is this using? Let's see, hollow point 2. Alright, so Sabo hollow point with a bit of rail draw. Okay, I think we've seen enough of this thing. There's really... I don't know where to put it either, Limited Gravitas, but I like it, so we're gonna put it in the back pocket for now. And please, people, do not think that I'm going to do that with every design submitted that doesn't have a slot in mind, because that'll be annoying. Looks like Thumpback is up. My to be fair comment was about the Discord comment, made it seem more like a fan build, but I could be wrong. It could also do anti-plane by flying it higher. Noted! Alright, Lid and Frost. What is Lid and Frost, by the way? Lid and Frost. Oh, I think you... Did you mean to type Leidenfrost? The Leidenfrost effect, or film bowling, is a physical phenomenon in which a liquid close to a solid surface of another body that is significantly hotter. Wait, what? In which a liquid close to a solid surface... Huh? That is significantly hotter than the liquid's boiling point, produces an insulating vapor layer that keeps the liquid from boiling rapidly. Okay, then. Well... You spelled it wrong, that's why I'm gonna reject it. Alright, you can also do... Oh no, did I misspell it? You did. It's okay. Alright, so, the proton. The proton. Right, so, le proton. What is, let's have a look at what the proton's fixed. This is by the big guy. Originally made by Drizzit, might want some decoration, had to remove it to work hard on it. CJA move further back and take it replaced with a ducted one, fetch for control thrusters. Moved the yaw control fin and gave it a pivot so it works, and added bread thrust vectoring to CJE, added 2 more trackers and set detection for target agile craft. AI swapped between change and circle with bread based on pack reload time. Made the packs more threatening, especially to small craft, added batteries and energy generation to CJE, little injector engines so they actually fire. Swapped out small frag missiles for medium frag missiles. Added a few surge projectors, but there wasn't enough space for proper EMP proofing or internal armor without getting rid of the little walkable internal area. It's a 37k small vehicle, it is what it is. Well then, thank you, the big guy. Right, so now let's throw this thing against the original proton. Do we have one? Let's spawn into more of these, actually, just so we can be sure. Okay, this thing is noticeably more scary. Okay, so remembering that the Proton is supposed to be an easy craft. Although it is completely unarmored, anything that can hit this will kill it. Let's just go double check. Where is the Proton? Jet fighter bomber Proton is an easy design. How many superchargers do I need? Is there a thing that's too much? I mean, there's a Lid and Frost is water beating up on boiling metal. Oh, right. Cool. It's okay, the Indomitable is also spelled wrong. There's a cool video showing off said effect, the Leidenfrost effect, by someone moving his hand through molten metal. How do you do that? I'm assuming he has gloves on. Wiseboarder, is it a good thing if the engine loses power after a certain RPM? No? No, it is not. Supercharger engine, if so... Normal? Alright. Oh, it's not a good thing. No, it's just a thing. How many superchargers do I need? Always get worse as RPM goes up. The purpose is super high efficient, low power engine. No, you can't really have too many. Poor choice for combat craft. Cal have to achieve 5 per cylinder then. How do you do that? Very carefully. Don't know if I can post the YouTube link yet. Yeah, no. My Twitch is set to max security. It's a very exclusive club. Only I can post links because I am the club master. Basically, the effect that causes water to act like a hot pan is hydrophobic and makes it beat up and skitter across the surface. You can't, but I could. Wait, what? Don't know if I can... But I could. Okay, well, up to you, John. I trust you to be sensible and not rickroll everybody. Alright, let's see how we do here. Alright, not unscathed. Where the hell is this guy? Oh, that's where he is. It's going out of control. Alright, I like that. The original Proton Squad had a lot of problems with it, so this is a welcome upgrade. Alright, me likey. Me likey, me likey. And let's see, shenanigans. Okay, yeah, no, this thing will get... No. This at the very least has the armor of an easy vehicle. Yeah, no, this thing will get EMP'd to death, really quickly. And heat shells will do really badly again. Will do terrible things to it. So, you know what? I'm a happy chappy. So we're going to... Proton fix, we're going to... Wait, this guy's supposed to be in a squad, right? I mean, it doesn't have to be. Do we... Alright, you know what? This thing probably needs some deco. That's the problem. Probably needs some deco because it's got some exposed bits, although it doesn't look too terrible. What the hell's happening here? Alright, so this is... Okay, this is not finished, so... For now, what's it? Proton fix, and this is, what's it? The big guy? Fix the appearance a little bit, because the nose here, this is kind of ugly, it needs some deco, and it needs to be in a squad, and then we're good. So, somebody note that somewhere. And once that's done, happily, it can replace the... once that's done, it can replace the Proton Squad. And I will need to remember that. Alright, so let's see here. Basically, border-wise, basically one from the depth streamers. Nope, it's not just me. There's more. I think the thumbnail will give it away if I try to rickroll. Is this a monopoly? Nope. No. You lost the game? Oh no. Not quite. Rawston streams FTD. I think Gmodism also streams FTD. I must not know enough then. People do on and off. Roar, yeah. Roar is a European, Europe Universal streamer now. Roar is a variety streamer and does a lot of FTD. I mean, technically I'm a variety streamer as well. FTD is not the only thing I do. Considering he's a Cottle, and here's the link Orange was talking about, of the Leighton Frost effect. Is Gmod the guy I watched the tutorials for? Probably. If you Google From the Depths tutorial, if you scroll down to the YouTube section, like the videos, he's actually the first two results last time I checked, and now I'm the next two. Don't think Gmodism actually streams very often, mostly just YouTube content. He's really the one other active FTD YouTuber currently. What's YouTube? YouTube is a gateway to hell, and you should avoid it, except for my channel, which is a slightly more merry shade of hell. Alright, so... Good job, Mr. Rink. Again, not accepting that, but once that's tweaked, we can actually update and accept it. I think that does beg the question of, because for the combat testing, the great expert difficulty shuffle... Wait a minute, what is... Right, the Proton Squad is one of the main things we use to test against. So, just for consistency's sake, we are just going to keep using the old one for now. At least until this gets updated, and then we'll have to see. Done. Thank you. Your channel is Fulero. Yep. I make a small amount of YouTube content too. Gonna have to see how the new Proton's back up to the perpetual. Chat and VOD watchers, remember to sub to the Border Stream channel. Thank you, John, for saying that. There's the Stone Knight Snake I shared in the CC Discord to check out too. Didn't you say that wasn't finished, Ruby? I don't like to look at craft like before they're like finished. Unless all you need to do is deco. Right, what was I doing? I'm going to check things off on my to-do list. Alright, Leaden Frost, check. Alright, the shuffle. I'm gonna start shuffling, and you can't stop me. Every day I'm shuffling. And the first thing is the Vortex. Everyone's favorite craft. So let's just... I'm going to spawn in the Vortex so people can look at it. Alright, so Vortex decoed. This... I keep forgetting about the Vortex and then remembering it, because this is... If you want to talk wacky sci-fi communism, this is, this was one of the OG wacky things. This was also one of the first craft, I believe, that was originally submitted for Amphitasma. Didn't fit the theme, so I said, put it in Glacave, and we did. Also, I'll sub one day when I stop dying in Neater. Okay. I mean, I've got the, like, 3 FTDs videos now, just like in Deco, 3 of the list anyway. Haugen said, yeah, oh boy, this guy. Stopped adding it, never stops, does it? Tried to make it somewhat more decent looking. Might need to give it enough makeover. That thing is cool. Looks like a sculpt drone. Vortex is good at trolling. This thing is a very trolly thing, simply because like shots can pass straight through the middle of it and not do anything, which is hilarious. Alright, so I'm going to type up the testing for the Vortex, and then we'll go check out the Snake. Let's see here. Vortex. I spelled Vortex with an extra T. It's not tea time. It is not tea time. I never updated the last combat test. Alright, so typing. Let's go find the snake. Right. What does the Vortex fight? The Vortex fights the Quasar and the Kick Wheel. Quasar, Kick Wheel. Alright then, and there we go. Perfect. Alright, now that you've seen the Vortex, we're going to go find Ruby's snake. And here we have the Vortex, an Air Nation design. Always fine and dandy for until the Fire Nation attacked. Yeah. Mind you, I only decorated it, it's not my craft. Tea? Time for tea, time for tea, bread and jam and company. What are we doing? Doing this. Aha! Jormungandr. Do we have a Jormungandr already? I don't remember. Right, so let's have a look-see here. And open, and I'm just going to go drop this in the From the Depths category, wherever I found it. Man, I go through folders a lot. This is my life. I go through folders. Right, and I, through sheer magic, will spawn in the Jormungandr. Oh, look at this wiggly friend. Right, is it in fleet colors? It is! Oh, wow, if that's what... Alright, so that's about 73,000 materials. Let's throw this against some kind of ship, because that will be funny. Alright, plane. Alright. Ship. Let's throw it against the Type 80, which is probably the outdated version. Alright, and just checking... Alright, there's only an expert slot open for the... Did that thing just warp? It bloody well did. This thing moves in a... Oh, right, the Type 80 was removed. Uh-oh. Jormungandr too slow. Unfortunate. How fast is this thing moving underwater? Oh dear. Well, alright, so there's an issue with this thing, is that if it dives underwater, it can't catch stuff. So we're gonna get rid of the Type 80. I'm gonna spawn in something probably slightly slower. Let's actually spawn you... Get out of the water, you stupid person. There we go. There we go, alright. Alright, here we go. I'm so excited to get Bound to the North. Adventure working. Border, are you a wise border or bordering on wise? Yes! Spiky worm, that's cool though. Looks like a baby Jormungandr. I mean, you could call it the Jormundelver or something like that, maybe. Uh-oh. Alright, so this thing is a little squishy. Yeah, currently, the only slot really open for... I was amazed that the... Actually, wow, I didn't realize we had so many things like that. So, the expert slot is essentially a hard or godly. So, this probably needs to be made a little bit more formidable. Definitely faster. Because currently it's struggling. I just realized I spawned in another small fast ship, which is not the idea. Hold on. Let's actually throw this. You know what? You have to do it. Where is the... Where is the commodity? There you go. Alright, can you hit the commodity? Go, my wiggly snake friend. Oh, look, it's swimming! Part of the plan is to put it onto the snake carrier. Is it? Okay. Let's load in something a little slower. Loads in hydrofoil. Yeah, that wasn't my best move. Okay. Damn, looks like I'm gonna have to back in the rear steam jets. Yeah, this is a problem. I have very bad news. Oh dear. The commodity is outrunning it. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, that could be fixed just with a tweak in behavior to make sure it goes like above the target first. Oh, there we go. Oh, it tried to warp. There we go. Alright, so it can beat a commodity. Alright, so it needs work though. Well, there's our third thing that I'm going to keep in the blueprints folder just so I don't forget about it. But yeah, not accepted as is, needs some tweaks, needs some deco, but I like the idea, keep going with it. Shall we see it against the thruster? Going on a date is the best, yes it is, just wiggling there menacingly. It's likely if weird drag issues due to being mostly sub-object. My favorite activity is date. My favorite fruit is date. Sugar date, sugar dates. Alright, congratulations, you killed the commodity. You've killed commerce. What did commerce ever do to you? I don't know. Screenshot. Okay, now we can get to the shuffling. Every day I'm shuffling. Okay, right, so Vortex needs a... Why did I delete that? We need something on screen, you know, for like... Alright, you lads, we're going for a ride. Needs more speed, yeah, it needs to be faster, and it needs deco. Tell me this isn't spin clipped. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Spin clipping? Okay, it's not... Hey, it's not spin clipped. Thank you. Ow! Yay! Love it. Wait, do the sub-objects actually have drag? No, not that I know of. Normally, no. I did test every bit individually to avoid clipping. Thank you! It'd be nice to see it against something in the air. Well, yes, it would be. But, like, the blueprint is in the Discord, by the way, if people want to test it. But I need to get on with it. We need to spawn in the... what do we call it? We need to spawn in the vortex against the quasar. So that fight day must happen. Fight day, fight day, fight day, fight day. Right. Alright, go here, thrust craft, vortex. And Stonelight Present Skull is just for giggles. Murder of the craft is sub-object, they start having drag. Okay, that's good, thank goodness, actually. That would be an annoying exploit. What is it? Quasar. There we go. Quasar. And we're gonna put that in concave menu. Wait a minute. Oops. Oops. Ah, I did math wrong. Alright. Hold on. I rushed. I did a rush. Alright, so spawn in the quasar first. And that is 195. That's 1.9 million. 1945. 1945. Okay, I'm doing very well here. 1945, 1945, 1945. Good year for one specific reason. Right. Vortex. 1945 divided by thing. 1945 divided by 473. What the hell? Well then, it's a 4-on-1. This isn't going to be laggy at all. Quasar is way more expensive. Yeah, the Quasar's a big fella. Remember the sub-objects for submissive? Zuza. If I recall, I thought they had a sub-object grant to stop the dragless craft shenanigans. You might be right. I'm not sure I remember that. Zuza. We're trying to optimize drag on a few earlier visions, didn't do much. Quasars are more expensive, maybe more sense to do this in the custom battle menu. It does all the craft costs for you. Yeah, it's also... no. It's, the reason I like to do it here is because, in the designer you have a search function, in the custom battle simulator you don't. What's the shells what's the best? Okay, you know what? I'm gonna spawn in 4 of these things. And then I will read chat. And I'm going to put it in no particular small order. Please do not collide. Sir and or madam or neither. Right. Right. Oh god. Oh, I think I know why the Quasar are so expensive. It is mostly particle cannon. Did that do anything? Oh no, it did. It did a lot. Okay. Also, Vortex looks cool in... No. Don't collide with each other. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Oh, you didn't do it. Cool. Alright. Question. What's the best sighted shots I could use on low caliber weapons? 60 to 125, advanced cannons. You can never go wrong with Sabot frag or AP frag and AP heat. Those things work well at basically every gauge, but especially low gauge. Complicated question. To be fair, and also just Sabot, that works. To be fair, they're held in place and forced to spin. That's a complicated question, but I've watched so many tutorials and I realized I'm illiterate. Well, that's very unfortunate. I suggest you become literate at your earliest convenience. Damn, I wish I could read. Read. Sabot solid sand. Blaster. The sand refers to sandblaster. Alright, let's see what's happening here. The vortexes in trying to avoid each other are kind of doing a flank. Huh. This is a funny fight happening. They might actually win this just because... Aha! Took out the middleweights. Right, the Quasar is actually, I'm looking at these things, these actually do have, like, shared aesthetic similarity, and it's quite nice. Somebody collided. Yes, yes they did. Oh, gods, when these things collide and mesh with each other, this is one vehicle now. This is one vehicle, and they will die together. Please do not small Sabot frag. Or just small Sabot. I mean, yeah, I hate sand. That guy before Vader. Sabot frag, 75% payload reduction. Yeah, I know. It's a bit of a meme shell. It's one of those things that works better than you think it does. So if you're not shooting HA brick, you're gonna have a bad time. Large Sabot frag has its place. Small is just bad. What if I just low-key shove a Sabot on and then make the body out of solid EMP HE frag with a blaze bleeder rear out of being bored? That's called the Generalizer. And it's, okay-ish. Oh no. Oh wow, say I did. Okay, wow. You know, there's something to be said for being mostly empty space in terms of durability. What if I just low-keyed, I mean, why Sabot frag when you can AP frag? The extra armor penetration can be quite handy. In all the testing I've done, Sabot frag is just like, it's the shell that's equally, that you use when you don't know what else to use, and it works kind of well at roughly any gauge. Not good. Like, if you're shooting at a heavy armor brick, just pure Sabot tends to do better. But the little bit of extra frag, surprisingly, actually does quite well. Like, it allows it to, how do you say this? Once it gets into the internals, it does a lot more damage. If that makes sense. I think Sabot munition defense grav ram at fuse is viable. Hull point works better than anyone is willing to admit. Good anti-sub shell. I like the anti-munition shell type against ships. Red flag. I use it on 30mm gauge too. Oh yeah, 30mm heat. Very nice. Alright, so the Vortex won that. Honor 4v1. Cheap-ish by Glakave standards. Works out for it. I kind of want to throw this thing against the Seismotron later, simply because I think that would be funny. Seismotron. Alright, kick wheel. I forget about the kick. The kick wheel, I think, is just funny. Alright, where are we? We're here. Alright, let's go here. So, 472. Right, so let's load in the Vortex. And the kick wheel is 281. 472 divided by 281. 281. Okay, then that is a 2v1. Alright then. Alright, so the kick wheel does need its corners. Again! This is another thing that actually, matches the vibe of the Vortex quite well. Specific designer, here. I wonder, I need to go back in the lore document and check, who did what. I think the Vortex is gonna win this. Or not. Oh. Okay, then. Yeah, Vortex is, like, doing very well. Turns out being made of mostly air is actually a really good idea. I really need to copy this kind of design. Whee! Right, what shells is this fire? That's... what is it? That's Hesh, actually. Is it? Aha! It fires a mixture of Hesh and APHE, by the looks of it. Small caliber isn't penning anything anyway. I'm using reasonable people hate this simple trick. If you hurl the shell fast enough, anything can work well. I like APS that can shoot at 1,300 meters per second. Yeah. It's a weird in From the Depths, and like the meta, like there's actually not much room for like slow, larger APS shells. They do great damage, but the problem is they're fairly easy to dodge with fast planes or thruster craft, and they get shot down by lambs so easily. So yeah, it's like at the end of the day, like people tend to default to just having a hybrid railgun with shells that are ridiculously fast. Yeah, hollow point. I like using sabot flak on burst railguns. Oh, naughty person. Hollow point works great in general. Skimmer tip, time fuse, grav ram. Throw some hollow point in and just let it eat away at stuff. Skimmer super cav is the real meta. Small caliber isn't penning anything. I don't know if people refuse to admit that hollow point is really good. Don't the megalodons use hollow point? The problem with hollow point is that it chunks against anything with thick armor. It will, all other things being equal, it will lose against something with good penetration. So, fun experiment you can do at home, or wherever you play From the Depths, probably at home, is like you swap out the megalodon shells for sabot or armor piercing, and then set it, and then have it fight the old megalodon, and the megalodon with penetration will basically win every time. So yeah, it's just far more damage efficient to have something that bypasses armor and gets and hits the vitals, so to speak. Quasar is made of paper. Old point heat does fun things if used properly. That's basically a worse Hesh shell, from what I understand. It doesn't work well. People's sister would be better as something else. I mean, yeah, it would be. Make an APHE Megalodon, it would be a lot better, because that is, frankly, an objectively better shell. I am less scared of the Megalodon than I am of the Tier, simply because the Tier's guns and shells are so much better. To the point I think that, I think cost being equal, like, the Tier actually kills the Megalodon fairly easily. I have no idea what is good. I'm basing off my shell types based on tanks and other games I play, then hoping it does something. People tend to do that, yes. Sometimes it does, so I guess it works. Kickwheel is truly something. It is. It's not very good either. It's almost like how there are different tribes for great talents, except different scientists or labs. Out of curiosity, how effective is Incendiary Hollow Point? A gold box being destroyed while on fire, string of the fire, but I don't know if the fire point HP gets counted by air, which makes it bad. Also, it's low AP. Shoot more. This whole thing about thump and AP, you'd have to check. It doesn't though. One of my favorite faction classes, 2,000 plus all HE railgun. HP doesn't waste damage, just has low overall damage. Hollow point is the can opener. You don't just use the one. Otherwise, I told him you would say this about the Megalodon's guns. Yep, Yep, you were right. It's because I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I wonder what would happen if there was a 125mm 8-meter shell, and it's all powered by a railgun, and maybe half of it is problem. I don't think you can get an 8-meter 125mm. Yeah, you can't get that. Don't think you can. It would be very, very fast, and probably break the game. Hollow point as its uses, thumb now has the underwater damage shot, also doesn't ricochet, which is handy. Yeah. It's just like, I don't know, most situations it's like not that helpful. So hollow point cram is something that I don't think anyone uses. Hollow point can rip off chunks of armor, but it's kind of the point of armor. Yeah, it kind of, yeah, it's ablative. Hollow point also just obliterate combat designs. I think it can be better against flak, against planes. Heat tends to do really well against planes, because, yeah, Tier is an anti-ship ship. Meg isn't. What the hell is the Meg again? Is it an anti-submarine ship? I guess it is. It's not even good with another shell, because you can just use AP payload. 500. I've been loving AP frag lately. AP frag is good. Pens deep in the ship. Launch frag at 190 degree angle. I think that's hard. By the way, Borderways, I now feel the struggle you felt when building the amphi tank. I just can't for the life of me get a design going. Amphibious tanks are hard, especially if you want them to actually be good. It turns out, I always wondered why people didn't make... Oh wow, the Vortex has one. We've just been hanging out while this thing does its thing. It's almost completely unscathed as well, so that's pretty decisive. Yeah, like, making a decent amphibious vehicle is hard. Just because, like, it's... The temptation always is like, why don't you just make it fly? Then it's automatically amphibious. I do physics. I wonder, what do I say meow on stream? Meow. I've said it on stream. On stream. Cue Dr. Dooley accusing me of being a catboy again. Also, you should say please for that, Yuri. Hollow point makes sense when you don't have the power to pen. Making a pen... 18mm instant silly. Hollow point 500mm probably also silly. Everything is silly. Not gonna lie, I feel like the Meg is designed to outlast rather than outgun their opponents. In my case, it's just tanks in general. Okay, sorry, Wise. Okay, I finally caught up on chat. Wow, chat, you are chatting. Alright, so kick wheel. 1v2. Basically unscathed. Is the Vortex a godly this whole time? Basically unscathed. Alright, Proton Sword. This thing has lasers, so we kind of already know. What's gonna happen here, but we'll do it anyway, for science. For science! Vortex. Meow. Okay, planes. What do we got there? Proton Squad. Still no presence, just for giggles. Alright, so this is the old one, just so people are aware. Which means it's not very good. But it is, a plane of sorts. Oh yeah, remember this? Remember when this thing was in Amphitasma colors? Damn it. Amphitasma colors just look good on everything, and I'm not just saying that because one of my favorite colors is green. Let's see there, yep. Alright, one of these things has disintegrated. Yeah, no one's surprised by this. We got a lasery thing versus smallish planes. I don't think the new updated version of the Vortex would do... Not Vortex, the Proton would do any better than that, so... This thing literally did not lose any blocks whatsoever. So that's a thing. You aren't beating the allegations. I knew you'd say that. Okay then. Wise, please say nya on stream. I feel there should be some kind of redeem for that. Because, like, you can't just say nya and, like, I not get anything back. Except amusement. Small shells, you might as well use Sabot instead of Hollow Point. Yep, love surface vessels, but flying bricks are where it's at. We need a pole to get him wearing cat ears. No, we don't. I agree. No, we don't. Sabot has really low damage. Mega some powerful active defense. Its lamps is absurd. Main guns double as Seaworth versus huge missiles in 2000mm cram. Seen a shoot down a 300k health doom cram. Yep, it does do that. So does Hollow Point. Now, Hollow Point has pretty good damage. It does not. And raw stats are worse than every other kinetic head. Hash exists. It does. So do these. Don't do that. You can make redeems. Can we at least get a poll for the poll? No! I need to get into the Discord ATP. Yep. Yes, you do. Which Discord are you talking about? Okay, so, no surprise, the Vortex won that. No one surprised. Laser, go. Alright, the lift, which I believe is basically a 1v1. So let's do that. What? Why did this thing take damage? That's weird. That's weird. Alright, so we're gonna spawn in the lift, which is around 500k. Oh, can you hear Leaf Blower Man outside? Yes! Special guest on stream, Leaf Blower Man. So, 511 divided by 473. 511 divided by 473. It's a 1v1. It is a 1v1. It is a 1v1. A 1v1. This is good for pictures of badly photoshopped autos with cat ears, obviously. It only really makes sense if you want to shoot at subs, in which case it's pretty much just a better heavy head. What is border-wise in a cat girl in denial? I'm not a cat girl or in denial. What is wrong with you people? Ah, thank you. Thank you, Pizza Major Comic. Supercap just murders the damage of any chemical shells. Is that what my problem is? I keep thinking my shells have too low damage. Oh, I just realized that the, thing on the, like, the vortex, it's Florida Man. Alright, so here we see the weakness of, things built like this, is that rapid-fire, shells tend to make bits fall off it. Right, the vortex... Oh, interesting. The vortex struggles to turn. Wait, does the vortex not have strafe? It doesn't. But the lift is going out of control. Except it's not going out of control. I think I've already made a note about that. Also, this thing is a yellow brick road. And now it's not going out of control. Right, so I don't think the Vortex is going to win this, actually. Alright, so I don't think it's quite godly. It did manage to, like, outmass a godly craft. Oh, wow. Yeah, this thing gets flanked, like, pretty easily, honestly. Although the lift is... Lift? You better... Have you lost lift, Mr. Lift? Now imagine if we were fighting over land. Whee! That looks cool! The lift is just showing off right now. Oh boy. 30 large missiles isn't enough to overcome the tier. Nope. See, he's even in denial about being denial. Stop it! Stop it! Supercab, 25% reduction. That's actually a lot. Person who denies is always in denial. It's not as bad as Sabo. Disruptor isn't great. Plus, you can't use a BB. So, decoy missiles affect ship-based targeting. Regard. HP has advantages. Ignores impact angle. Armor stacking. Gets underwater damage, but doesn't raise damage by overpenning. Offset by having general I really like that strat-like design. It's almost like evasion built in by default. I love it. I need to make stuff like that. I think it will work well. It's not unusable by any means, still very good, meaning Hollow Point the Vortex only. Having fixed weapons makes it pretty easy to flank. Yep. No, thank you. Wait, what? What was no? Do decoy missiles? Okay. I thought things despawned over there. Borderwise, make a breadboard that makes turns actions, making your voice like the one breadboard that has the anime voice. I don't want to, but I might do that eventually if people ask very nicely, which you just did, I guess. ECM will, though. I need to make something stupider then. Okay, then. Oh, dear. I think the Vortex might just win this through missile spam, so this fight could take a while. Because it has successfully turned off the gun on the lift. So I'm gonna set a timer, and I'm gonna let this go for 5 more minutes at most, and we can just hang out. And I'm definitely not going to message people while I'm here. That would be silly. 5 minutes. Unless we get bored. Chat! If you get bored, say so. Wait, no. I can take the ad break now. Hell yeah. Alright. Alright, you fine people. I'm taking my ad break now because I can do it. I gotta go. Okay, see you, Azusa. I miss working in theaters. I can pull Borderwire's voice to Cat whenever I like. Mix a belt in my computer. Please don't. What if you make Borderwise pitch up so he sounds like an emo girl? No! Done that. No, why? What is wrong with you people? Okay, that does it. I'm leaving. I might not come back. Enjoy these ads. Enjoy these ads as punishment, people. You have... Bye! back. Oh, hello. The Vortex appears to be winning. Who would have thunk? Music? Face. Cam. That thing. Alright, leaf blower here. Yep. It's working in theaters. Aha! The lift. Ah, great timing. The lift is not lifting anymore. Alright, so the difficulty shuffle will be on the next, right? But it's on the finished being built? Nope. Thing is mostly neither is Glacave. We don't think about efficiency or good sense here. We just vibe. Oi! We do both! Chat is inevitable. Okay, I've been seeing occasional Starlight builds to be tested over the course of a few weeks. That's kind of the point of doing the difficulty shuffle now. It's so that we don't make our lives complicated later. And, is that the lead pro? Yes, people have been submitting Stoneline designs. Yep, occasionally. Only thing is empty for Stoneline. Oh. So, I forgot I set a timer to basically say when this fight was going to be over, and it's perfect timing, honestly. This is on their own, so it can be tested later. We await your border. Welcome back. Would you like us to continue to comment to you being a cat girl since you have returned? Please, no! I can't physically stop you, but I am not cat girl. You can literally see me. Like, here's the, like, if anything, Batman. See? Bat. Look at the bat. Be distracted by the bat. I'm sure you love laughing more. No! The lift has stopped lifting. I get a feeling the lift needs a serious redesign. It feels too thick for... Yeah, it does need adjustments. And a bit of aesthetics. I would like, probably, deco its wingspan to be longer. I own a cat and you look like a cat girl. How dare you? How dare you? Give yourself a gentle uppercut. Bat ears also cute. Bats? I love bats. It's great. Maybe something more akin to the Mobula. Hang on, be right back. Okay. I'm not gonna hang on. I'm gonna carry on. Coffee. It tastes like coffee. It's good. Batgirl. Bat boy! Stop misgendering me. This is the 21st century. Have we not moved past such things? Okay. So lift. One noticeable lack of strength and drawback of fixed weapons. Okay, so the Vortex, I think, is a hard design so far, but now we need to test it against submarines and see how that do. Right, where are we? Let's actually go here. Let's go here, and we're going to have... Let's... Yeah, I don't think it has any anti-submarine weapons. Yeah, no, I don't think so. I don't think so. This really is a Florida Man kind of design, if you know what I mean. It's wacky, and I like it. Vortex is good. Alright, submarines. Pursuer. And yellow submarines. Let's see how you do, pig. Quack, quack, I'm a pig. Alright, let's see what is happening. Oh no, this thing does not know where to aim. It actually can't even aim. Oh yeah, nope. Nope, that is missing by a country mile. Ooh. Or not. Nope, it is. Yeah, no, this thing is gonna take so long to kill the pursuers. It's threatening a lot of fish, though. Like, a lot of fish. Alright, so yeah, submarine is a no-go. It can't do anything against submarines. Nope, can't really do anything against submarines. And Augur is just a straight nope. You already know that. Alright, so have any of these guys taken any damage? All the damage they took was just from being on the surface earlier. Alright, so now I'm just gonna do a little bonus test against the Seismotron. Or do I have to? We know what this thing is. We know what this thing is. This is a hard design. It's not godly. Otherwise, do you sell plushie versions of your channel guy thing? I really should. The problem is finding a manufacturer that is like doesn't have a horrible environmental record and human rights record, and I keep forgetting to do that. Yeah, it's like, because here's the thing: I would love to sell merch, but. And I'm not making excuses because I should, because people would definitely buy a Sooty plushie. Yeah, no, it's like, it's hard to find something that isn't, like, made basically with slave labor in, like, Southeast Asia, and it's made entirely out of flammable plastic. Discord General, do you, don't think it has anything, Discord, even this lands in hard, it might be worth getting some basic subtraction, yeah. Put some numbers in the previous discussion of Kana HE is best about 70% more damage than about half of the ID. Maybe do some other hard and medium to governors. I can't help wondering if the campaign needs more ASW capable designs, but it'll be fine this way. It probably does. We probably need to do just a sweep of ensuring that things can at least detect and shoot at submarines. What do I sew them yourself, like the Batgirl you are? Yeah, I have that kind of time, sure. To be fair, a lot of the map is pretty hostile to subs. Are you in the Discord? Not yet. No clue how to get in. Which Discord? Like, if you talk at the Patreon Discord, it's literally the lowest tier, and you get in, and you can annoy me about the Catgirl thing as much as you like, but at least you'll be paying me money. Okay, what was I doing? I was doing... okay, we don't need to test this thing against the Seismotron. We know what this thing's deal is. So, we're gonna do the shuffle. So, where are we? We are here. It is a hard, very obviously a hard, but I am going to add... oh, hold on, let's see then. Let's just make sure. Right, so Vortex goes here. I'm going to black out this. And black out this. And I'm going to add a little note that basic sub detection sonar buoy. Hold on, EG sonar buoy. That's sonar buoy, not sonar girl. Don't be confused. Alright, so that is most of the stream already. Jeez. Alright, so now we've got to test the backstop, which is a big fella. Okay, so let's spawn in the backstop so we can look at it with our eyeballs. Alright, let's go here and here. Glacave updated. Craft. Backstop is there. The backstop is a big fella. And I think it has been tested against the coherence before. Hold on, let's do this. The Patreon Discord you have to pay for. The custom campaign Discord is here. Thank you, John. Whoa. I'm stealing money from myself then. Then you have to ask what otherwise. Not gonna lie, I'm not even sure that's possible. The fashion clothing industry is just not the most moral of industries, as much as an oxymoron as a moral industry is. I think my best bet might be to, like, get in touch with, like, people who just knit. The problem also is, that I did mention before, is for plushies and stuff like that. Whoopsie daisy, what the hell just happened? Hey, thank you for following Mentos Gaming. Much appreciated. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for following. You've seen what we do. Not sure what... This thing looks like Birdo. Like, minus the bow. You know the Nintendo character? With the massive hole for a mouth? I just realized that. But, okay, what was I saying? Fashion industry. Plushies. The problem is that if you do get something that's environmentally and that is, like, friendly to the environment and, like, humanity... it tends to be more expensive, because what I was thinking is that if I could find someone based in New Zealand who is willing to knit sooties for people, that would work, but also that would be very expensive because they would be handmade and shipped from New Zealand, which is down here in the South Pacific. So yeah. I mean, people possibly would buy it, but I don't know. And this is where you get to the point where it's like hard to run a YouTube online thing as a business on your own, because ideally you would have someone specifically in charge of merch, because then they could like do all the homework and stuff. I'm slightly overworked as it is, or at least it feels like it. Alright, let's do here, backstop, lift. That front just screams great filter, yep. Backstop probably godly, BMG drive time to load, finish downloading time to load up FTD. Yeah. Hello, evasive front side with HA wedge. You know what means run? The great filter's little bro. Yeah, actually, yeah. Why? Because it's flat? Well, this one's normal size filter. My girlfriend has a knitting craft shop and knows a bunch of people. That could actually be quite handy. Actually, that could be very handy. Dr. Dooley, if in the Discord later, if you could link me to your girlfriend's shop, that would actually be quite handy. Like, it'd be the kind of things like online custom orders. But I don't know. Like, maybe people would buy. Maybe there's something there. I can get you some contacts if you're... Oh, you just off. That would actually be very helpful, Dr. Dooley. Thank you. Not gonna lie, that's also the thing I thought. Humanity? I play from the depths. I hate humanity. Please don't hate humanity. That includes me. I wonder if that was part of the inspiration. Well, she just had to take the Etsy down because Etsy evil, but she does have an Instagram too. Okay. That's okay. We can figure something out there. It'll be good. Right. Backstop. What does backstop do? Backstop going up against the coherence. Why did I say like coherent? Coherence or coherence? What do you do? And the armature, which sounds like furniture? Armature. Okay then. Right. So this fella, in case anyone's wondering, from the front, this thing looks so funny. It's just like brick. It's a brick with guns pointing out like this. Pew pew pew. Also, you should check the Discord general. I will do that later. You're a Batgirl, not a human. Oi! Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Alright, so Bat. Okay, girl. Are you saying girls aren't human? Rude! Got you! I feel this could be decoed to be a giant intake. Though then the name and lore of a backstop wouldn't make much sense. Could put a funny face there or something. I don't know. Alright, anyway, okay, so let's fight, let's have this thing fight the coherence. Proof in Discord. Hello, Gartuli boy! Hello, hello! What do I want to do? What do I want to do? What do I want to do? Alright, backstop is 540 materials. The coherence is... Oh, this is... Okay, 918 divided by 540. 918 divided by 540 equals 1.7 exactly. Everyone look at this nice shiny number, because when we do math for these combat tests, you hardly ever get a nice... Well, this isn't a round number, so to say, but it usually has like a zillion decimal points. So yeah, 1.7. It is 2v1. Backstop versus coherence. Alright. So we go here. Backstop is like... Backstop is like so. And coherence. 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 Are you coherent? I hope so. Okay then. Proof of Discord. You are a female bat, sir. Oi! Rude! Extremely rude. I'm a male human and happy about it. You are a... that just hit me. You are a female bat, sir. I like the giant intake I offered back pedals, a giant thruster. Sadly, I can't share the picture in the chat. Oh, should I be scared? Okay, this thing is flying low. Why is it flying low? This fight could take a while because these are two bouncy flying bricks. with big missiles. Are these huge missiles? I just realized. Uh-oh. Okay, I don't think the Coherence is winning this one. Oh, dearie me. Yeah, the Coherence is not winning this one. Although... Okay, then. Now, do you think vehicle avoidance had something to do with this? Oh my god, those are huge missiles. My god. Alright, so the Coherence is not firing back anymore, like at all, except with little particle cannons. Huh. One of the backstops literally did a swan dive into the ocean, but it's like still... Team Backstop still winning. It's fine, everything is fine in the right way up. I'm not gonna check that now. Sets at 2K, so it depends on what the other guy does. This is a streamer worth watching for once. Yay! Thank you. Isn't the Coherence a Pierce laser thing? Is it? Hold on a minute. I think maybe... Is it? Maybe it was, and it appears... Oh, right, I remember. This thing has really bad EMP protection. Alright, we need to throw the backstop against a different godly, just to be sure. And I volunteer the Seismotron, because the Seismotron is fun. Also, I like the Seismotron. I just like saying Seismotron. Aha! Yep, that's, this is bad. I wonder, why haven't I tried hypermach missiles? Well, because they're not really possible. Missiles getting some work done with, alright, let's see there. Find everything values in the current. So I'm 3 weeks in my naval architecture course, right? I'm debating making an FTD meme of veteran player wanted to make better looking hulls, and then it's the branching past me where one side is Hawkins 365 656 videos and the other side is naval architecture books and a screenshot of my course notes. That would be a pretty funny meme. Also, yeah, shout out to Hawkins. Did a guide on how to make good looking ships, which I still haven't watched, and it's been sitting in my watch later for like literally months now. So I'm a bad boy, and you can tell him that I'm a bad boy. They are large missiles, not you. Are you sure? Missiles getting some work done to it. Looking at it now, and yes, it is. Yeah, it's a Pierce laser thing. 185k per hit. Is that the ship from Halo? Honestly, so I'm guessing it just killed some of the front jets on the one backstop. Backstop is definitely not godly. Made 400 meters per second torpedo. How did you do that? To be fair, it's facing a Pierce laser, which is like the front side of counter. Sounds good for a submarine. Yeah, they're large. I'm looking at it now. Really? I guess they just must be... I've been slain. Hang on a minute. I've been fooled. I have been fueled. Oh, goodness. Huh. Oh. Oh, yeah. Pierce laser. How about that? Alright. Yep, Nukecraft. You know what? Now that you mention it, it does look like a Halo spaceship. And thank you for the... thank you, Yuri, for the ball hydrate. Almost forgot to do that.
Luke, I am your father. And also your mother, because this is sci-fi fantasy, and the writers can go crazy.
Alright. I haven't watched any of his making better ships looking vids either, because most of it I probably already know, and besides, I'm way too extra to not design the entire hull and CAD first. Oh no! Keeps clipping out of bounds and falling through eternity. There's also an updated version of the Coherence with fish the EMP protection. Okay, we probably need that. How many hydrates to drown water-wise? Probably... Well, by drinking it, that wouldn't drown me. I would just need to run to the bathroom a lot. And you are both boy and Batgirl. Father and mother. I don't like this meme. I know other people are finding it funny, probably. Borderwise, be my mother. No! It is time for you to be independent. You don't need a mother, or a father, or father-mother, or mother-father. Think that applique counts as a gap for EMP? Does it? Oh dear. Not sure. Proof in Discord. Also, some of the issues around the AI. If you look at it, I'll stop for the rest of the stream. Promise. Okay, mommy borderwise. No, don't say that. Don't say that to me. Fine, I'll look at frickin' general. Hold on. Point. Oh my frickin' god. Frickin' hot soft. Hot soft. Are you happy now? I just realized just how badly those bat ears are drawn. Oh, you cheeky sod. This is so stupid. How did we get here? EMP does not care about visual connection. 2 blocks adjacent. Oh man. I've seen EMP through a mannequin. It wasn't even in... Yeah, was it just in like... What was it, like the snipping tool or something? Okay, oh well, that's... Someone clip that if you feel like it. I don't even know. Okay. Well, the backstop won against the coherence. I'm tired now. Okay, 2v1. Coherence does have EMP vulnerability though. Alright, armature, let's see here. Alright, so armature. So armature is 156 and 540 divided by 15. Well, damn it. Okay. Let's just spawn you in here, sir. Backstop. Like so. Wasn't even paid. It was okay. It was in the snippet tool. We got the Batman and then we got the Batwise. What if Borderwise became a Batgirl VTuber? Well, for one thing, I wouldn't tell you it was me. Brings new meaning to the phrase flip in the script. Backstop could maybe do with some decorative wings, yep, or fins, yep. In before someone makes an anime waifu avatar for Border, and then knowing the internet, we can guess what happens next when someone makes a new waifu design. See, that's why I don't want to go the whole VTuber. Like, here's the thing. No disrespect to Ralston, who is a VTuber, but like he has, you know, just an anime version of himself. The VTuber thing kind of weirds me out a little bit. Because part of the reason I like things like Let's Plays and Twitch streams and just gaming stuff like that is because it's kind of like, I don't know, it's, how do you say it? It's like real people doing fun thing. But if it's a VTuber, it's not a real person anymore. It's something else, which is weird. Okay, 540 divided by 142. 540 divided by 142. 540 divided by 142 is 4. Oh, goodness, this is a 4 and 1. Alright, HQ there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, what's the armature again? Oh, it's a little guy. Alright. Oh yeah, so I don't think these guys are going to win this. Unless they are, because they're small and hard to hit. Alright, not that small and hard to hit. Are missiles incoming? Where are the missiles? Oh dear. Oh, do the missiles have a size limit on them? Because that's a bit of an oversight. Bloody hell, these little guys are... Bloody hell, these little guys actually have nasty little guns. Oh wow, the armatures are actually winning. What shells are they firing? Hold on, let's investigate this shell. That is a... Oh, it's a hollow point. Well then, the hollow point fans are gonna love this. Using an avatar... Wait, what? Anything confused? If Budweiser was a bat boy, it would imply he likes baseball. Ha ha! Anything confused? Budweiser tried your dignity to be a cute anime Batgirl VTuber. Never! I have hardly any dignity left. Turns out Budweiser is the kind of person to say clanker. Wait, what? When did I say clanker? I say wanker, not clanker. Using a VTuber avatar is helpful for maintain privacy. This is true. Backstop could definitely use deco. Entered the craft when the bar for appearances was lower. Yep. Hashtag use. Or being a femboy. I mean, if you want help with that, possibly read. I've seen VTubers say some incredibly unhinged things. I get the VTuber thing sometimes because maybe the person doesn't want to show their face, but still wants there to be a face to associate with the content. Hollow point shows lol. Not sure what is defined by unhinged, but I wish they spoke about some things less. Not gonna get into it in Twitch chat. Yep. Clanker is the new slur for AI people. Oh. Suffice to say, it's not anything like bad. I sort of have a feeling Bodan may have swarm and flank meta. Yeah, but you know what? You might have a point here. A lot of these frontsiders are struggling to deal with things getting behind them, which isn't a bad thing per se. The backstop's crippled. It's not firing back anymore. Wow, the armature is a nasty little guy. It's a nasty little guy doing nasty little things. Alright, so the backstop, somebody, I think it was John, said this thing is not godly. I'm starting to believe it. It's, respectable flying brick, but it is getting bullied by things which are, like, much smaller than it. The only AI I like is mine in From the Depths. From Star Wars. Glakavid probably Stormlight most likely will. Swole is a very different story. It doesn't love me, though, with how often it rams his other sister ships. Yep. Strafe insufficient. God, not saying that on them. Rip my poor backstop. Clanker has been used as slow for robots ever since Star Wars prequels. Is armature godly? No, it isn't. It's just hard. Because... yeah. I think it just happens to be countering the backstop. By being a little guy. A silly little guy flanking a thing. Also, it is quite fun to see a hollow point, like, chunk blocks off something. It's quite nice. Da 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 da. Not so much in common parlance. Backstop is a single target craft. Border-wise, why doesn't my 256 megabyte of RAM computer run away from the depths? Mostly well, serious answer to that. It's because From the Depths is a CPU-heavy game, and it's actually limited by what the Unity engine can do. So there is a point where it doesn't matter how good your computer is, it's got to lag. Because there's only so much that the Unity engine itself can do in terms of calculating blocks and physics. So yeah, it's not a particularly RAM-heavy game to begin with, I don't think. I just bought myself a 512GB memory stick. Yep. Could do a bonus test against the anchor bolt, which isn't as much as a typical frontside in that regard. My poor roasted chicken brick. I feel old. Is it because you remember when, like, a few megabytes of, or maybe even just like a gig or two of RAM was, like, a lot? I remember those days. The days of 512 megabyte RAM sticks. Those were days, certainly. Could a part of why the armature won here is because the backstop couldn't point his nose at all the enemies at once? That is a reason, yeah. I have a 512 megabyte memory stick still. My first computer was a Pentium 2, running Windows 95. Ah yes. The best Windows. Actually, which was the best version of Windows? Not Windows 11, that's for sure. Like, Windows 11 is creepy. Alright, down she goes. Well then. Lost that one. Alright, so on lost a 1v4. Not great at fly swatting. And Proton Squad. Yeah, that thing's definitely not going to be able to beat the Seismotron, I don't think. What did you think? The Anvil. Not the Anvil, what was it? Literally just read it in chat. What was it? It was... Anchor Bolt. That's the one. That's the one. Anchor Bolt, Anchor Bolt. Right. What was next? Next is the Proton Squad. Whoops. Right, so where is backstop? Proton Squad is here. Right, Proton Squad, Proton Squad, Proton Squad. Like so. Uh-oh. I think the backstop will win. It'll just outmass these guys. But at the same time... the fact that it doesn't fire its missiles against targets which they probably could hit... Oh, it does have a laser. What the hell? It just has trouble aiming because of how it's arranged. Okay, there we go. Never mind. Never mind. One laser goes... Burp. Now against the lift. Backstop is... Okay, that's a 1v1 against the lift. How is this thing... This thing looks more expensive than it actually is, and the lift looks cheaper than it should be. Have you seen Windows is introducing ads to 365? Oh no! Mr. 95. Very typical front-sided thing. I read a book that was dated something like 2003 or so, and I saw that it said Windows was limited to like 4 gigabytes of RAM. Oh no. I've seen a 3D printer with 4 gigabytes of RAM. The printer was from 2010. Windows XP best fight me. Frontsiders naturally work well for 1v1, but getting flanked usually does bad things to them. It is possible to make frontsiders that kind of, like, are less vulnerable to being flanked. The Linear Kea is probably the best example. It turns out if you focus all your armor and fiber in one direction, things in another direction become a problem. Probably good to have some good 1v1 frontsiders for the players who like singular big blueprints. The armor on the backstop is intentionally weak at the back. That makes sense. Who would have thought the backstop would have weak back armor? Needed time to cook. I should not be playing BeamNG with 8 gigabytes of RAM. Playing. That's a slideshow. Look at it now, backstop will only fire missiles at craft that are at least 2,500 blocks, which seems too large. Yeah, you'd be surprised at how big some things can be with, like, only a few thousand blocks. My Fluid Dynamic book talks very explicitly about floppy disks and talks about a supercomputer with fewer teraflops than my phone. Anchor Bolt is also fairly resistant to being flanked. The armor is solid all around, at the cost of not actually having as much at the front. Now to drive my virtual BR612 BC funny tilting mechanism. I don't know what that phrase means. Alright, what's next? The lift. 1v1 with the lift. 1v1 the lift. Do you even lift? This thing does. It is the lift. Alright, I don't think the lift is gonna win this one, but you never know. It's surprised us before. Max stop, and... Is that really 2,000 meters away? It is. Yep, that's not dying as fast as I thought it would. Did this thing launch its missiles, or... Uh-oh. Alright, so Lift is currently losing. It's flying away from the target. Alright, Backstop is doing absolutely fine. Those are the interceptors. Doing interceptory things. Also gotta remember that this thing has turrets on it. Okay, yeah, no, the Lift is losing this one, for sure. For sure, for sure. Thank you! Thank you, Sean. Whoops, I should have been catching up on chat, and I was not. Whoopsie daisy. Rip Lift. Oh yeah, no, one of my naval architectures was excited talks about with brand spanking new computers we can design ships digitally and don't need to use a slide rule and ship codes for everything. I didn't want to waste materials by launching expensive missiles and cheap craft. May have overdone it. That makes sense. I recommend the book Calculator. Reduce that number song. Hang on. Do you even lift, bro? Yeah, I'm really saying it. Also, which fluid... which fluid dynamics book? I don't remember fluid mechanics. Okay, talking about thing. I want to build a Soviet Eastern Star ship, but I can't tell from building something too small or big. I don't think it understands scale. Scale in From the Depths is weird. It's just really weird. What would you recommend? Okay, chat is now just literally chatting about scientific textbooks. This is where I would like to remind everyone that the audience for From the Depths is generally engineers and sciencey people, and I'm a history major. So what am I doing here? I like to see canoe go brrr. Alright, Lift lost that one. Lift, big, juicy target. Right, the Pursuer. Let's see how you do, lad. Let's see how you do. Let's see how you do. Say I do, I do, I do, I do, I do, I do. Whee, Pursuer! Pursuer, Pursuer. What are you even pursuing? Yellow Submarine, as is tradition. As is tradition. You play from this because building this stuff is fun. That is true! What is your... Donor limited range might be better, less prone to variance due to the different cost of materials. It's autism boat game. It really is, honestly. We need someone to remind us that Yahtzee's bad. I guess? Probably. Like, limit to 500 meter radius and more. I do love me some naval history. Otherwise, what kind of history? I ended up with a master's degree in history, specializing in, of all things, medieval European history. Yeah. Then I wondered why I couldn't find a regular 9 to 5. So yeah, this is, I guess, like, one of my tutors in postgrad did point out that, like, there was a whole tutorial on, like, what can you do with a history degree, and people end up in the most random of places that are seemingly not related at all, and I guess that's happened to me. Truly, the autism game community is autistic. Who'd have guessed? Yep. Looking at the armature, for example, it's 233 blocks, but there's a radar signature of 1652, which is plenty. Then you like my history hot take. Plate armor bad. No! The period of plate armor was very brief, all things considered. Because it was just from the late medieval period to... Basically, when was it? I think it was the 1600s that, not 1600s. believe it was the 17th, maybe early 18th century that people stopped bothering it with it, like, seriously. So yeah, like a few hundred years, give or take. It worked very well for what it was designed to do, which is to keep people safe. Turns out it's very difficult, using pre-industrial handheld weaponry to kill someone wearing forged steel plate, unless you've knocked them over, in which case you can kick open their visor and stab them in the face. Or just, like, hammer them in spots which, like, can't absorb the impact very well. Which part of Europe for the medieval history? It's mostly England and France, I'm sorry to say. I really should have branched out a little bit, but that's what I ended up doing. I can tell you that Richard the Lionheart was a useless wanker, and wasn't even English. We as a society don't value things like historians very highly. We really don't. It's really sad. It's partly because history is not taught in schools very well at all. Gothic plate would have been late 1600s, early 1700s. I think Gothic plate was earlier than that. Gothic plate was, I think, very late medieval Renaissance. So 1600s is a bit late for that. Gotta go now. Gotta go now. Okay, bye orange. It's basically the late 16th century that full plate fully died down again, and people went to just a chest plate because of guns. That sounds about right. I'm fuzzy on exact dates. Ironically, for a history major, I've got a terrible memory for dates and names. Hello, Burbs1. Hello, we're talking about medieval plate armor in the frickin' From the Depths game. Also, I've just realized that the backstop literally cannot really hit these things at all, so I'm gonna go with that it's bad against submarines. It doesn't have any detection against these guys. Well, where am I? The answer might shock you. It's, yeah, nah. I got distracted by chat. Blade armor also didn't like being hit with blunt force. The actual technique of a sword user would hold the sword by the blade and hit a plate armored enemy with the hilt to dent their plate. It was more to hit them in the head, to concuss them. But yeah, the murder stroke, it was called. Mordhau in German. My point is more the development plate was more about tourneys, not the battlefield. Wrong! Sorry, you are wrong. Plate armor was very much for the battlefield, and like later on in the Renaissance, because it lasted in tournaments longer than it did on the battlefield. Yeah, no. People designed that armor so they wouldn't get horribly killed on the battlefield, so your hot take is wrong, sorry. I think you would really enjoy visiting Estonia border-wise. A lot of fun medieval history stuff. Yeah, I probably would. Do you have a preference between the term Dark Ages and Middle Ages? So, back when I was learning medieval history, the Dark Ages is not a really favored term anymore. Because firstly, like, historians kind of made that term up to begin with. People living at the time didn't call it the Dark Ages. Secondly, it's a very Western centric view of the Middle Ages, because the Western Europe kind of dropped in population and complexity, but the Eastern Roman Empire and other parts of the world were actually doing just fine. It wasn't really dark for them. So back when I learned it, it was basically just like the trend was saying it was to call it the early Middle Ages. So you have early Middle Ages, which is basically Viking times and people not bothering to write things down as much, which is the original reason why it was called the Dark Ages, is because it was dark in terms of a gap in knowledge, rather than things actually being genuinely terrible. Oops. God, who just did the thing? Thank you for following, Burbs1. Okay. Placing Renaissance and after, but may have had some precursors earlier. Okay. And yeah, so Dark Ages, specifically part of the Middle Ages, which is mostly kind of an outdated term. Historians don't like to use it anymore. As far as I know, I haven't kept up with it, and I studied almost a decade ago. Where's the backstop? I'm multitasking now, because I'm nerding out about medieval history. So you got the early Middle Ages, you got the central Middle Ages, because saying Middle Ages would be weird, and then you have the late Middle Ages. So early Middle Ages is like Vikings and Anglo-Saxons and Charlemagne and that kind of thing. Central Middle Ages, you have things like the Crusades, and I believe the Inquisition made its appearance there, and that was like where things were generally good. It was a warm period in Europe, and basically population increased, things got a little bit more complex and interesting. Late Middle Ages is when the Black Death shows up and the 100 Years' War, so it's generally a less good time for everybody, which is why the Middle Ages had kind of a bad rap. People didn't think very highly of it for, like, in the periods after, because the Renaissance is actually where we get the term medieval, or Middle Ages, because they were looking back on the period of time just before it. Whoopsie daisy. Where the hell is the anchor bolt? Where is the anchor bolt? Hold on a minute. Oh, it's a hover tank, right. And they were basically saying, wow, that sucked. And they kind of didn't realize that the time they were living in, the anchor bolt's more expensive than the backstop. What the hell? What the hell? 540, 540, right. 604 divided by 540, that's a 1v1. 604 divided by 540 is a 1v1, alright, so... Huh. Right. Still, like, you've really opened a rabbit hole now, because I can talk about the Middle Ages for, like, a lot, because I did study it for, like, 6 years. Okay, there are different things, just as well as for subplate armor is great protection until it's dented in and you can no longer breathe. Yeah. What do you mean you don't know who built that specific plate tile in that era? You're clearly a fake major. I know, right? I should eat my degree. That's why there's space between your chest and your armor. Yeah, that space is mostly for padding, because, just raw, like, metal on skin is bad. Thank you for following. Border happy getting talked about history. Oh, yeah, I love talking about history. Okay, to be pandly, it's, the melees, not the later tournaments. Dark Ages could be its subtime, Fourth History, YouTube channel incoming. I possibly should just do a history-themed YouTube channel, because I'm actually qualified to do that. Probably more so than I am to do From the Depths. Have you seen the new Stronghold? Those 2 months old? Yes, I have. I love that thing. It's scary as hell. But plate armor basically requires you to be able to step away from the act of fighting regularly, which is a conceptualization. No. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Where'd you get that idea? Depends on what you mean by wide, and you kind of messer as a sword. Swords weren't really widely used battlefield weapons. Again, wrong, they were. Too difficult to mass produce, making a long thin blade of iron steel is not an easy task. Yes and no. In the early medieval period, swords were like a good quality sword, quite hard to do. But as the medieval period went on, like, people did manage to, like, you could equip even just basic men-at-arms with swords, and in the late medieval period, like, they could basically outfit, most people, well, most infantrymen, with, like, a basic sword. Like, remember, swords vary in quality hugely, and if you have a decent enough steel sword, you're probably gonna break it in battle anyway, like, on someone's armor or against a wall or something like that. And, yeah, it is entirely possible to make a cheap, nasty, practical sword that's good enough. So there is that. And also remember that swords are a sidearm. The whole point of them is that you wear them on your belt. They are your backup weapon. Like, even for knights, their primary weapon would have been the lance. And you'd only draw the sword once you'd broken your lance on someone's, well, chest. Depends on what you mean by wide. Counter sword. Beginning of the Dark Age is good because of volcanic eruption causing year-long winter and subsequent widespread famine. Yep. Which contributed to the collapse of the Western Roman Empire. Yes. Pancake. Technically, the German state is almost 100 years younger than USA. Oh yeah, that's a fun... I also studied at university, not postgrad, but the history of modern Germany. And Germany is weird. It's simultaneously a very old country, but also really young, just because of everything that's happened to it within the last 200 years or so. Source, Having worn full plate. Yeah. No, sorry, Dr. Dooley. Like, having worn full plate as part of, like, a reenactment or something like that is not even close to how people would have done it for realsies back in the day. So, nope. Sorry. Also, bear in mind that, you know, if you're talking about stepping away to, like, go to the bathroom or something like that, or rest or something like that, A, the guys wearing that full plate would have been, like, really, really fit. Like, much fitter than the modern average. B, they would have shitted and farted and pizzed right in their armor if they were in the middle of a fight, and they would have had someone else deal with it later. 6,000 hours of experience qualifies you for running a YouTube channel about it. Cool. Blow up Phineas. Question. If you hadn't gone for medieval history, what would have been your next choice? Probably... Well, bearing in mind, now I probably would be, like, early modern to modern history, because it's just so fascinating how the modern world has come about. Quite suddenly, actually. Arming swords. You will overheat about 3 minutes of active swinging in summer heat. Yes and no. Bearing in mind that a lot of medieval warfare was sieges, and so there'd be a lot of downtime anyway. And, yeah, no, people did fight in that, so... Plate armor also, that goes for any armor that's properly. Like, you look at a modern soldier and all the kit they wear, they also get very hot and sweaty. If you're English, your primary weapon might be a different polearm. Not gonna lie, otherwise, you and Raw should do like a history YouTube channel or something, given that he's also an archaeologist. That would be fun to do. Not reenactment, historical combat. Still, nope. Working with the Nottingham people in the Viking studies degrees. Wait, Viking? And someone who then worked at the Jorgen Center. Imagine how smelly those yeah, would be very smelly. Well, you want, put on your winter coat, then another coat, then do jumping jack in summer heat. Yeah, well, just because you think it's not possible doesn't mean that people in the past thought the same way, because they did it. And we know they did it. Because historical events happened precisely because people put on plate armor and ran around and fought in it. Yes, they got tired. Yes, they were unhappy. Yes, they were uncomfortable. But they did it. Think of Rodins where you are. Summer heat in the north of England is going to be different from the south of France. They do, but modern armor has webbing. Feel something's missing. Not saying impossible. Yeah, no. I wouldn't want to do that. And also, yeah, bear in mind that plate armor was only really used, like in Western and Northern Europe. It, by the time plate armor was adopted by, like, Europeans, the Crusades were over. No one was going to the Middle East and the hot sweatiness of the Holy Land with plate armor, because that would be a bad idea. And it's also why people in the Middle East and Africa and stuff like that, they never really used plate armor, at least not the same way, because, yeah, no, you'd cook. I haven't heard Batgirl or Mom Waterwise hasn't been mentioned 15-minute... Well, until you did that. I feel like something's missing. I'm saying you needed a whole support. Of course! But soldiers always need a whole support team. Medieval armies were about 50% support crew. So... Sorry, Dr. Dooley, you're arguing from ignorance here. You're saying, like, oh, you need a support crew. Yes. Do you know how much maintenance any modern military thing needs? Like, most of the work is the logistics and the maintenance. The British were famed for dismounting. Yes. Also figured out how to cloth themselves in a way to combat the heat. Yes, the surcoat. That's an earlier thing, though. Don't think the anchor bolt is winning this. I've seen big chunks of internals fall out. I was not paying attention to the frickin' matchup at all. Let's see, the anchor bolt is doing that, and the backstop is doing this. Damn you guys, you distracted me talking about history. Big jumps. The thought of making some content on engineering history and touching on forgotten methods and techniques of engineering that have died due to the rise of computers for the most part, I think it would be neat at least. Yeah. That awkward moment where it could be leaf blower or it could be computer melting. These things are really evenly matched, I just realized. Oh, without logistics, your army just dies. Why, one of the big methods to take out the enemy is bring out their supply lines. I'm actually not explaining myself well. Then you should explain yourself better. Lieutenant study tactics, general study logistics. Order, do I continue watching or do the wrong thing and prepare for college tomorrow? You should probably... Yuri, you should probably prepare for college, to be perfectly honest with you, because I don't know where you are and where you're going to college, but, and I don't know whether you've taken a student loan, but failing your college courses and not getting your degree is one of the most expensive things you can possibly do. So, the VOD of this exists for good reason, so please prioritize your education. My actual point. Full plate armor comes from a conceptualization of war that you could only have a nobleman with a limitation of armor can be taken away by doing thing that a normal soldier wouldn't be allowed to do. Again, wrong, because in the very late medieval period, such as the War of the Roses or the Cousins' War, you had entire armies outfitted in full plate armor. So again, no. You are arguing from your limited personal experience with the stuff. Most soldiers died from disease in combat throughout history, which makes the conceptualization much closer to the early melees that were more soldiers would have faced. Also find it funny when people say that electric train are modern technology even if it existed for... But what does full plate mean here? By full plate, I'm meaning, like, basically every inch of you is covered by forged steel plate. Which, again, very brief period in history that was really a thing. And... like, yeah, as I said, it's only like conflicts like the War of the Roses, which is like the very end of the medieval period, edging into the Renaissance, that even happened at all. So saying plate armor is bad is just kind of weird, because they're saying, like, alright, it has limitations, but then again, so does everything. It's like saying that a modern, B-2 stealth bomber is bad because it requires, like, something like 80 hours of maintenance for every hour of flight time. And it's like, but that 1 hour of flight time, it can do something that nothing else in the Air Force can do. So it's like, yeah, like, everything is limited. Everything is broken. Alright, backstop is winning. This is a very long fight, or so it feels like. Blade armor, not bad. Okay. It's like how the American Wild West only lasts about 30 years. Yep. They built trains and de-wilded it. Yep. It's okay to admit you were mistaken. Blade armor, not bad. I say prepare. What do I mean is sleep and just pack my laptop to watch your videos in college and do the assignments. Then watch more, otherwise there's a lot of free time. Nor am I in debt. Okay. Well, do sleep. Sleep is good. Yeah, wow, the anchor bolt is losing. Ha! Okay then, feel like some of you all would love to watch the channel Dequitum if you haven't yet. A good solution to perhaps a weird conceptualization. Put it up, they're used with the bolt-action rifle the British used in World War I. Also, you have to put things in context. History is all about context. Plate armor was the solution they found to a problem. Oh, fun fact about plate armor. It was originally designed to combat, like, archery, so to speak, because, like, particularly two things developed. The Brits developed the Bodkin arrow, which was designed specifically to pierce mail, and did a very good job of it, to the point where it wasn't very useful anymore. Hey, look, the anchor bolt's lost. And crossbows. They got more powerful. They went from being the stirrup crossbow, which is just basically put your foot in it, pull it back with your hands, to things that were a lot more powerful. And then those also could pierce mail very well, and so they had to switch to plate. Because contrary to some misconceptions that people have, longbows longbows and, like, strong crossbows can only penetrate, like, plate armor, properly made plate armor, mind you, at, like, very close range, and even then, probably not gonna manage it. However, yeah, that's the end of the thought. Plate armor was originally a thing designed to defend against, like, specific ranged weapons that were proving, like, too good for mail, basically. 1. Okay, so this thing cannot fight submarines, it's a hard. Right, so let's do the shuffle. You got me all... You got me! You got me all freaking... Oh yeah, because it lost to the armature, so we're gonna go... Insert row here. What just happened? I deleted the row. Oh no. Insert one row above. Backstop goes to hard. Backstop goes to hard. Backstop goes to hard. Was there a note to do on the backstop? But otherwise, what do you think of Rob Az's designs in FTD? He's the one that introduced me to FTD years and years ago. Same here, actually. Rob Az's designs... Well, they were... I don't know, I don't have much to say about them. They were designed for a version of the game that's very old, and they weren't good, but they were very entertaining, and that's what counts. Backstop is pretty strong 1v1. Todd's Workshop on YouTube. Yep, there was a brief period of time where a pirate, a samurai, and a cowboy could have walked into a bar somewhere. Oh yeah. Frontal armor isn't up to the task. A good solution. Also, I've been discussing this with people for a long time, and no points have been made here that I knew. Well, that's on you, unfortunately, because... Like, yeah, those are the points. That just means that you are... It's not getting in your head that some people know the plate armor thing better than you. There's a brief period of time. I suggest everyone watch the Todd Workshop YouTube, yep, where they actually look at the 100-year war longbow versus armor properly, yep. So the fight is over, yeah. Respect to him for getting a lot of people into the game, but his designs were never amazing, now they're all horrible and edited. War of the Roses, they still had plenty of levies though, right? Yeah, but it's also like, one of the few medieval conflicts where they had, like, entire armies of men-at-arms, outfitted with full plate. It was very expensive, and the armies were small, but it is that point. And yeah, there were a lot of peasants who wouldn't have been in plate armor. You gotta remember, there was the peasant levies, there were professional men-at-arms, and mercenaries, and there were the knights, so the peasants probably wouldn't have had plate armor, almost certainly not. They're better than mine, and I like him, and I wish he made more. I know there were battles won by armies in full plate, then the enemy exhausted all their arrows and bolts, simply not firing back at any of them, and then marching on them when they ran out, just to block the middle limits. And I will say, PhDs on both sides, so probably isn't that clear-cut, but sure. You soon could have sent a fax to a samurai, yeah. Yeah, I forget what we were talking about with plate armor, that it's not very good or something like that, but you've already said that it's not bad, so I don't know what's happening. Stream's over. Who are we going to raid? We could raid Drunky Poopers, who's playing Deadlock, or Roastin' VT, who's playing Europa Universalis, stuff like that. Let's raid Drunky Poopers, just for, there. The initial claim was plate armor bad. No, it was what it was. Like, it was what it was. Not sure what to tell you. Has a hot take. Plate armor good for its time. Yeah, it stopped people dying horribly due to infection from an arrow in the thigh. An arrow in the knee. Alright, so let's raid Drunky Poopers. If you're watching this later on YouTube, I'm sorry to say this is not a history channel. Although, honestly, I should just do that instead. Because, apparently I'm qualified for that. I think, maybe. I don't know. Need to do more reading. What was I doing? Oh yeah, remember to like, comment, and subscribe, even though this isn't a real history channel. The optimization was definitely influenced by a lot of non-war That's everything in every war ever! You're not saying anything, Dr. Dooley! Me from Estonia, which only had 2 medieval with the crowd, and then 11 wars listening to all this. Sure, whatever you'll say. I know it wasn't uncommon to coat arrowheads with filth to cause infection. Yeah, combine your loves. History with From the Depths, history of FTD. I mean, I probably could talk about the history of FTD. I was here for a lot of it. I have a whole playlist of, like, updates for From the Depths. Which effectively is acting as an archive for, like, what the developers have done, at least from the point where I started. History of it from you would be fun, episode-wise. I mean, yeah. I should consider that. Next YouTube channel I make, because I'm probably going to make another one. Once I'm finished playing through Sacred 2 on my second channel, I might just leave that channel to rot and start a history channel instead. Okay. And let's raid Drunky Poopers just because it'll be fun. Follower or subscriber only chat, so... Alright. No. I want to send you somewhere where we can... where you can hang out and talk to people. So that's Rawston. Sorry, Drunky. If you're Drunky Poopers, if you're watching this, I apologize. Raid Rawston VT. At some point, I'll get bored enough to actually explain my point properly. Well, if you're not going to explain it properly the first time, just a frickin'. But this was mostly memes. Then no. How dare you? How dare your face? Okay then, going to raid Rawston. 4, 3, 2, 1. Everyone take care. Remember to read primary sources as much as possible for your history. I will see you tomorrow for more stuff. Farewell.